in Jesus, we have the same power that raised him from the dead, living in us, working in us. Do you believe this? And Jesus is asking you this morning, do you believe this for your life, for those around you? Can you be brought back to life? What seems like a faint possibility can actually be a reality for you. Today you can find strength in surrendering your life to Jesus because he gave it all for you to have life. Let's get back to the story and see what happens. It says in verse 38 and 39, Jesus, once more deeply moved, came to the tomb. It was a cave with a stone laid across the entrance. "Take away the stone," he said. "But Lord," said Martha, the sister of the dead man, "by this time there is a bad odor, for he has been there 4 days." In King James, it says he stinketh. So that really brings it to life. In verse 40, it says, "Then Jesus said, 'Did I not tell you that if you believe, you will see the glory of God?'" Again, Jesus has to reassure his promise to them. Now, right now, I can feel the rise of frustration. As a mom, I can feel Jesus' pain. Did I not tell you? I've already told you 5 times. I already told you. You have to do these things. And that's how I would feel, but I'm sure Jesus didn't actually feel impatient because he's incredibly kind and patient, way more than I will ever be. And so in verse 41 and 42, it says, "So they took away the stone. Then Jesus looked up and said, 'Father, I thank you that you've heard me. But I said this for the benefit of the people standing here, that they may believe you sent me.'" Because there's a large crowd now. When he had said this, Jesus called in a loud voice, "Lazarus, come out." The dead man came out, and his hands and feet wrapped with strips of linen and a cloth around his face. And Jesus said to the people standing there, "Take off the grave clothes and let him go." What an incredible miracle. Lazarus was dead in a tomb, stinking and smelling, and now he's here walking and breathing and living. Jesus brought him back to life. And everything in these verses is so crucial and so important. It points to the fact that it actually takes community to see life restored. To see people brought back to life, it takes courage in community. So you're here today and maybe you don't feel like you're back to life yet. There's some areas in your life you want to see God restore. So what do? You find courage and community here this morning. There's a lie that people believe, and you have to be healed and whole, and your whole life has to be put back together in order to be used by God. But look at Lazarus. God used a dead man to show his glory. At least you're breathing, and at least you chose to come here this morning. God can use you. You are in the right place at the right time. You are a vital role to this community. So after Jesus performed this miracle for Lazarus, it took all the people gathered around in the community to bring him back to life. And we can look back at all the key roles and key players in Lazarus' resurrection, and we know that it had to happen when the most people were there, not out of shame, but out of greater impact and unity in the community. So let's look real quick at these roles. So first we had the crowd. We talked about that a lot. Some of you are just a crowd in other people's lives. Maybe not close enough to know all the details, but you're watching and observing. And when you see miracles happen in someone else's life, your faith increases. The crowd is necessary so that we can mutually build each other up. We can let our lights shine and share about the goodness of God.